updates here of things that are going on. I want to thank too some of the friends of ours that send us some of these links here that help us out. But quickly, let's take a look here on IntelliNews. Suspected Ukrainian attacks force closure of the Crimean bridge connected to Russia. The article here says that the bridge connecting Crimea to Russia was closed overnight and after a series of explosions rocked the occupied peninsula. I don't like the word they use there, but anyway, the Kiev Post reported on August 16. Crimea is looking increasingly vulnerable. Ukrainian attacks and waves of people were recorded leaving amid fears of becoming the war's next victims. Although not officially confirmed, many suspect Ukrainian forces to be behind a series of explosions on August the 16th, an attack of a Sakai air base on August the 9th. I know that they do believe that there are a lot of partisans that are working inside those provinces there since the Russians have taken over. And that is where some of these attacks are coming from. And we also know, too, that this bridge is extremely important for Russia. And it is the pride of Putin there that this bridge was constructed. It's one reason why the Russians have been militarily been protecting this bridge. A lot of effort went into building it. And, of course, it connected Crimea to the homeland of Russia, and so therefore it is of a strategic asset there. Yesterday, Russian munitions depot was ablaze near the Ukraine border, and again, Putin or his government also believing that this was an inside attack done by the Ukraine. He actually mentions that it's done by the people in Kiev, so no doubt devices were planted there, and ammunition, as it says here, an ammunition depot caught fire near the village of Timanovo, less than 50 kilometers from the Ukrainian border, in Belgorod province, and the region's governor Gladkov said in a statement, no casualties were reported, but the residents of Timanovo and the nearby village of Soloti were moved to a safe distance. He said, adding that the authorities were investigating the cause of the fire. Video was posted on social media, showed a huge fireball billowing in a thick column of black smoke there. Yes, absolutely it sure was. And, that is, like I said, that is a munitions depot, so that'll be a strategic blow to the Russian armed forces there that are fighting inside of Ukraine to overtake this country there. And I know there's been a lot of attacks by partisans too on the railway system, also Ukraine military trying to cut the supply chain for the Russian military to hamper their effects there on this particular battle that they're undergoing, which makes you wonder if Putin's not going to step up eventually and really begin to put in so much larger and not just larger but more sophisticated military firepower in Ukraine, because clearly the United States has been deploying their own firepower there, and it's only using more and more sophisticated equipment. I know that the Joint Chiefs of Staff, there was a warning made to the Joint Chiefs of Staff about continually showing our technology in this Ukraine theater, because the Russians were only learning from that and then disseminating that information over to the Chinese for any types of future conflicts the Chinese may have with the United States. So we're actually playing into the hands of Russia and China by allowing that to happen. Anyway, B-52s were deployed to the UK. Live updates as bombers head to the RAF Fairford. Said four of the U.S. Air Force's biggest planes, B-52 bombers, are expected to fly into the Royal Air Force in Fairford this morning. Rumors that the planes were on their way surfaced on Tuesday this week when a plane arrived at the base on the Wiltshire Gloucestershire border to prep the mothballed base. And now this morning, plane spotters in the U.S. have tracked Air Force mid-air refueling tankers that have taken off from bases in New England to meet planes over the North Atlantic. The U.S. Air Force jets were stationed at Fairford, which operates jointly as one of the USA's Air Force's European air bases. Earlier this year, as part of the response to the Russian-Ukraine crisis and for routine training with European air forces, 4 of the iconic B-52 Stratfortress planes took up temporary residence in the Gloucestershire province there. That's only going to, of course, make the situation more volatile there already with Russia. And kind of goes back to what Kissinger said. We are slowly but surely headed right into a world war with Russia and China. U.S. warns it will deploy strategic assets to South Korea if Pyongyang conducts a nuke test. So there's another bombshell of an article right there where, talking about putting assets there. As I said to you already, Biden is in a very awkward position when it comes to the situation with Taiwan. That the administration changed their position. They were going to stand down. Now they figure, according to The Economist, it would plunge us to a Great Depression. So they're getting to the point where they have no choice but to defend Taiwan. China, as we have shared with you already too, has already stated that they will take Taiwan come this November, and that we better choose our steps very, very wisely. Also got this video here I thought was quite interesting, and I think you'll find this as well. And this is where Sam Harris goes out and basically just flat out admits to election fraud and overthrowing Trump. Listen just to the beginning of this.
Most people in our society.
Let me actually go to that place there. Where they discuss this about the suppression of Hunter Biden's laptop, and where I'll see if I can find it here. Let's try it.
Oh yeah, no one has clean hands here. But at the 11th hour, when who knows how this election is going to go, who knows what the capacity for disinformation at the last minute to tip the balance is. Then what do you do with the Hunter Biden laptop story when we already know, we know how this played out in 2016 with the Hillary Clinton email, press conference where Comey, in an abundance of scrupulosity, felt like he had to come before the cameras, I think 10 days out from the election, and say, we're going to open up this investigation again because we've got Anthony Weiner's laptop. We could see, again, her failure to become president was overdetermined. She was an appallingly bad candidate. Mm-hmm. But in terms of just tracking the poll numbers, you could, that was the killing blow to her candidacy, right? That final moment. And this was a highly analogous situation. We're going to open up this laptop from hell, and the news cycle for who knows how long is going to be just conceivably just a nuclear bomb of an October surprise, and we're going to get 4 more years of Trump if we actually give this a fair hearing.
But Sam, you can't do that, Sam. Surely you've got to realise that you've got to be fair. And the thing that I want to
we're all equal before the law.
Yeah,
aren't we?
And the other
this isn't the law. But
I know it's not the law. But if you accept my supposition that this is the public square, then it is the law. If it is the public square, then it is law. Now, you're arguing it's not the public square, which is fair enough.
Yeah.
Right? That's fine.
Yeah,
Look, why don't we move on? Because I think we've done enough.
Yeah,
sure.
Yeah,
He's sucked up a lot of it.
He's got a habit of doing that.
Yeah, no, but I'll just say, just finally, I do, again, it's like a coin toss for me, the Hunter Biden laptop thing. Because I do understand how corrosive it is for an institution like the New York Times to show obvious bias and inconsistency and dishonesty in how it's like they couldn't even frame it honestly. It's not like it's like the way I would frame it is, listen, I don't care what's in Hunter Biden's life. Hunter Biden, at that point, Hunter Biden literally could have had the corpses of children in his basement. I would not have cared, right? It's like there's nothing. First of all, it's Hunter Biden, right? It's not Joe Biden. But even if whatever scope of Joe Biden's corruption is, like if we could just go down that rabbit hole endlessly and understand that he's getting kickbacks from Hunter Biden's deals in Ukraine or wherever else, right, or China, it is infinitesimal compared to the corruption we know Trump is involved in. It's like a firefly to the sun, right? There's just it doesn't even stack up against Trump University, right? Trump University as a story is worse than anything that could be in Hunter Biden's laptop, in my view, right? Now that doesn't answer the people who say it's still completely unfair to not have looked at the laptop in a timely way and to have shut down the New York Post's Twitter account like that. That's a left-wing conspiracy to deny the presidency to Donald Trump. Absolutely it was. Absolutely, right? But I think it was warranted, right? And again, it's a coin toss as to whether or not
Sam, I'm sorry.
that particular piece
I'm really sorry. I was the one that said we should move on, but you've just said something I really struggle with there, which is
the kids in the basement?
Fuck the kids in the basement. I'm interested in democracy. You're saying you are content with a left-wing conspiracy to prevent somebody being democratically re-elected as president.
Well, no, I'm content. Well, but the thing is, it's just not left-wing.
There it is right there. I mean, they suppressed the information intentionally of Hunter Biden because they wanted to make sure Trump didn't get reelected. And although I believe personally all elections are rigged, they're all controlled. Since Reagan, or actually after Reagan, from what I understand, Reagan was still democratically elected, but there was still some shenanigans that went on even with Reagan's position as president. But after Reagan, they have controlled who gets into power. That may be one of the ways that they're doing it, suppressing information, dirty laundry, things like that come out. Now, granted, he says, that Trump has more dirty laundry than what Hunter Biden did, but they knew that if they released the Hunter Biden information off the laptop, it would crush Biden's bid for re-election. And so they intentionally controlled the media to be able to do it. Like I said, it reminds me of a guy I met this past week here, big producer in Hollywood there, and how he shared with me, you would be shocked to know the depth of connection between the government and Hollywood. Well, and of course, he mentioned to the press. So there you go. I'm Steve Benoon with Israeli News Live. Thank you for listening. Don't forget to visit our website, IsraeliNewsLive.org. Also in the description below, you have how you can get an EMP shield for protection of your home from lightning strikes, EMP strikes, things of that nature there, your vehicles. And that'll be in the description below. Thank you and blessings to you.